right, Shalom Israel, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. KLM Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Overall, I want to get into a lesson about the Sabbath day. I want to go on the spirit on the Sabbath day, on that lesson. So, first scripture I want to bring out is Genesis chapter 2 and verses 1. I'm going to start off at verse 1. It says, "Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them." So, this is the aftermath of Yahweh creating everything, throughout 6 days, throughout a 6-day time period. Now it's going into the 7th day in verse 2. Let's read it. And it says, that on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made. So on the seventh day, he ended all his work. Let's see what else he did. It said, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. So on the 7th day, he ended all his work and he rested. So in 6 days, he created everything that you see today, and then the 7th day, he rested. So let's see what that 7th day is. You can further prove that with the book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verses 1 through verse 3. Let's go to it. It's the book of Leviticus chapter 23 verses 1, and it says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which he shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts." So these are the feast of the Lord also. That's another fact. The Sabbath day is the feast of the Lord. In verse 3 it says, 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and the holy convocation. So the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. That's how you come about with the day of the Sabbath, aka the Sabbath day. So the 7th day is called the Sabbath day, Sabbath of rest. And it's also Salakia and holy convocation. What that means that we must gather together on the seventh day, aka the Sabbath day. We must gather together as a nation of people. So if you in a city or a state where it's brothers and sisters around you and you don't congregate with them on the Sabbath day, it's time to do it. It's time to let go of all the malice and the strife and stuff. And it's time to have the fruits of the Spirit and keep the Sabbath day holy, as in holy convocation, So the Sabbath day is the 7th day. We found that out. And it's in holy convocation. You must gather together, Israel. Stop being, little girls, and stop acting like little kids that don't get along with one another. It's time to stop playing around. We're in the last days. But anyway, now that we know that this 7th day is the Sabbath day and it's a holy convocation, let's see how the Most High, went about with the Sabbath day. And in verse 3 of Genesis chapter 2, it says, "And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it." So this Sabbath day is sanctified and it's blessed. That makes it holy. So this Sabbath day is holy. So if anything that Yahweh tells you to do on this Sabbath day, you must do. Anything he tells you can't do, you cannot do. Straight facts. So if you have to come together, you have to come together. Whether you like it, whether you like it or not. But let's go into some things you can't do on the Sabbath day. Like Leviticus chapter 23, verse 3 say we can't do no work on the Sabbath day. Let's figure out more about that. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. It says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates." So, on the Sabbath day, you cannot do no work, because you have 6 days to do all your work. You, your son, your daughter, your manservant, your maidservant, all y'all have 6 days to get everything that y'all need to get done before the Sabbath day come in. If the Lord can create everything in 6 days that you see, then you can have anything that you need done in 6 days for the Sabbath day. It's a day of rest. Rest. You know? Rest, man. Stop working. Hey, man, you should be happy that the Lord gave you a day of rest, man. This captivity, hey, we tired of it. That right there is just the only freedom when you come together with your brothers and sisters. When you resting from all this work. Salaki for the background noise, but focus on the scriptures. Yahweh speaking. Anyway, in verse 11 of Exodus chapter 20, in verse 11 it says, "For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is." Hey, man, if the Lord can create things that you ain't never seen yet, because, hey, I'm pretty sure in that sea that he created in 6 days, I'm pretty sure in that sea it's some creatures that you ain't never heard about, bruh. It's some new creatures, it's some new animals that you ain't never seen or heard about. But the Lord created that in 6 days. It's still some stuff that we still don't know about. Remember that. And if he can do that in 6 days, then you can get your shit done in 6 days for Salakia, for my language. But hey, man, it's the truth. It say, "Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." So this Sabbath day is blessed and hallowed. That makes it holy again. That's another scripture to further prove that. So we know that the Sabbath day, you can't do no work on the Sabbath day. Let's figure out what else you can't do. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 35 verse 2. Let's go into how you're not supposed to cook on the Sabbath day. It's the book of Exodus chapter 35 and verse 2. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. So if you're doing work on the Sabbath day, like the man that was picking up sticks on the Sabbath day in the book of Numbers chapter 15 verse 32. Like him, you will be put to death like that, brother. No getting around it. You will be put to death. And verse 3 it says, "Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day." What that's going into how you are not supposed to cook on the Sabbath day. You can light a fire to light incense. I try to prove that. That's in the book of, I believe, 2 Chronicles chapter 2 and verse 4. You can light incense on the Sabbath day. If you can light incense on the Sabbath day, then, what's going on? Because that's not talking about that. That's talking about how you are not supposed to cook on the Sabbath day. That's talking about how you are not supposed to light the stove to, make your favorite food. This ain't no damn, I'm going to make my favorite dish day. No, it's the Sabbath day, man. You can't light a damn fire to make food, and you cannot cook on the Sabbath day. That is what that's talking about. But you can light incense on the Sabbath. I'm going to further prove that with the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, "Behold, I built an house to the name of the Lord my God, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense." What's those sweet incense? The incense that I was just speaking about. To burn before him sweet incense for the continual shewbread, and for the burnt offering, and for the burnt offerings morning and evening, on the Sabbaths, Salakia, for the energy, but on the Sabbaths and on the new moons and on the solemn feasts of the Lord our God. This is an ordinance forever to Israel. So on the Sabbath you can light incense. So Exodus 35 and verse 3, that's talking about not cooking. You can't cook on the Sabbath day. You can further prove that. With Exodus chapter 16 and verse 22, this is an example of our forefathers keeping the Sabbath day holy. They even told Moses about it. So let's bring it out. This is the book of Exodus chapter 16 verse 22. "And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man." So our forefathers knew to gather twice as much bread and to gather everything that they needed for the Sabbath day before the Sabbath day came in, because they knew how much it was worth to the Lord. They knew how it was holy. And they did this. And it says, "And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, This is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which you will bake today, and seeth that which you will seeth. So Moses is speaking, with the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He telling them, hey, the Lord said this. You can't cook. You got to make what you have to do. I'm slacking. You got to make what you have to make today. You got to see what you got to see today before the Sabbath day come in. Because tomorrow is the Sabbath. Do what you got to do today. That goes back into doing no work on the Sabbath. So, now that we know we can't do work on the Sabbath day and we can't cook on the Sabbath day, let's see what else we can do on the Sabbath day. You shouldn't be focused on these, you shouldn't be focused on wanting to cook and do work on the Sabbath day. You should be focused on, congregating with your family. Aren't you tired of seeing the same people at work? Aren't you tired of seeing the same worldly damn things at work? Aren't you tired of unrighteousness? It's time to dwell with righteousness. It's time to dwell with the people that's chasing after righteousness. Hey, in the book of Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 12, it say, be continually around wise men. You want to do that, man. The Lord say, the Lord has it as a commandment for us to come together on the Sabbath day. So like, hey, man. You just going off if you don't want to do that, bro. And you wicked as hell if you don't want to get together with your family members on the Sabbath day. Anyway, let's go to the book of Nehemiah, chapter chapter 10 and verse 11. And it says, bear with me. Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we will not buy it of them on the Sabbath. So Nehemiah is telling, the Israelites, like, hey, if they bring anything in our land to sell to us, don't buy it. Don't buy nothing that they trying to, advertise to you or trying to give to you for you to buy. And that's spiritually still here today because they try to make sure our payments is Saturday mornings, Friday nights, and they also use so much they use crafty counsels like this. You will probably think you're getting away by getting paid on Monday, but when you hear that, your bank account or your bank say, you can get paid 2 days early if you come here, with us and get direct deposits. Like, you can come here, you can get, a 2-day early payment if you come, and bank with us. Then when you get that 2-day early payment, that shit coming in on Saturday morning. Because Monday, if you rewind 2 days, that's Saturday. And that's the Sabbath day. They use so many damn crafty counsels to get you, Israel, because they know how holy you is and they know how holy the Sabbath day is. They read the book, man. But anyway, you can't buy or sell on the Sabbath day. That's what the scripture said. And I'm going to further prove that because Nehemiah was getting on the people of Judah for doing that. He said, well, evil thing is this that you do and profane the Sabbath day. I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to start off at Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 15. It says, in those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath and bringing in sheaves and laden asses, also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. Hey, man, they going off. The people of Judah is going the hell off. They bringing all that into Jerusalem. They going off, man. They going the hell off. Like, why you not at home studying or doing something with the people to become more holy for the Lord your God? Like, why is they going off? Because they want to be selfish and break the Sabbath day. They want to be wicked as hell. Don't be like the people of Judah. Or don't, just don't, man. It's not good. It's not a good look. And anyway, it says, I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. So Nehemiah, he rebuking the hell out of them, man, because they going off and that shit wicked as hell. You cannot be buying and selling on the Sabbath day because the Lord said it. The Most High said it, man. So he rebuking them. And it says, there dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware. Hey, man, look. If you see another nation of people selling stuff on the Sabbath day and getting guala and money and riches, whatever they getting on the Sabbath day, to increase their funds, whatever they doing, you shouldn't be like, oh, damn, I want to do that. No, man, the Lord didn't put you up here to follow after them. He said you are above them. Deuteronomy 7:6, Deuteronomy 14:2. He said you are above them. And he said, don't follow after the way of your oppressor. You know, that's Proverbs 3:31. You can't be doing that, man. If they getting money, let them get money. If they breaking the Sabbath day, let them stay over there and do that. The Lord gave the commandments for you. He gave the commandments to you, Israel. Don't be doing things that these other nations of people is doing, because it just go lead you into destruction, and you go commit suicide. That's spiritual suicide. Don't do it, Israel. Do not do it. So Khan, and it says, there dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah, and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? So he like, what the hell is you doing? What evil thing is you bringing forth on the Sabbath day, to do? Like, what is you doing, man? You going off. He going hard through the spirit. He letting them know. The scriptures might not say it, but spiritually we know that Nehemiah is cutting up on the people of the We know that Nehemiah is cutting up on the people of the tribe of Judah and the people of Jerusalem, man, because they know better, man. We know better. We know better, man. And he said this, did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon the city? So Nehemiah he knew the judgments of Yahweh. He knew that you would be put to death for breaking the Sabbath day. He knew these things, bro. And these people, our people kept going off. They said, forget the Lord. No, I'm gonna go get that money. Oh, I see these nations of people. I see the people of Tyre getting there. Now I'm about to get it in too. They making money. Let me get some too. You see, Israel, y'all low key, y'all be in competition with people too. That competition spirit, that's off as hell. That's off as hell. That can keep you away from keeping the commandments. Because when you're in competition with a brother, you don't want to be around them. You want to just be on your own. You want to study your own thing. You want to get sharper on your own. You don't want to dwell with the brother. No, you gotta dwell with your brother, man. And then also the competition spirit can have you breaking the Sabbath. I know the people of Judah probably wasn't doing it, but then again, our people today, they feel like they need to be in competition. Our people today, they feel like they need to be in a competition with their oppressor. They feel like they need to get it in with them. Not like that. I'm talking about get it in as in, making money just like them. So with that being said, man, you cannot carry forth the burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day, just like Jeremiah 17:21 through 22 says. You cannot do that. You cannot do any work. You cannot cook on the Sabbath day. You cannot kindle a fire to cook on the Sabbath day. You can't light incense though. Anyway, that's the Sabbath day. Make sure y'all study on the Sabbath day. Matter of fact, make sure y'all studying every day. Put in the work for the Most High. He put in work for you. He put in work to get your ass out of wickedness, to come here and learn new things. He gave you the spirit so you can listen to the spirit on the other brother or sister teaching, through the spirit. Well, not the sisters, Slakia. Well, sisters do teach sisters, but anyway, you get the point. So with that being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. And I want to say, Israel, keep the Sabbath day holy and stop acting like women and girls and get out there and congregate. Shalom.